Alright, let's talk about something that's been making waves in Montreal. The bankruptcy of Chenoys, a deli that's been a West Island staple for decades. But before we dive into the details, let me ask you this. How does a restaurant that's been around since 1936, a place that's practically part of the city's DNA, suddenly find itself in such dire straits? It's a question that's been on my mind ever since the news broke, and I think it's worth unpacking. Chenoys isn't just any deli. This place has history. The original spot opened on St-Laurent Blvd back in 1936, and the Dollard-des-Ormeaux location, which opened in 1974, became iconic for its smoked meat sandwiches, those classic red booths, and the fact that it was open 24/7. Personally, I think what makes this really interesting is how deeply embedded Chenoys was in the community. It wasn't just a place to grab a bite. It was a meeting spot, a late-night haven, a piece of Montreal's cultural fabric. So when a place like this goes under, it's not just a business failure. It's a loss of something much bigger. Now let's talk about the numbers because they're staggering. Court records show liabilities exceeding $1 million, years of losses and unpaid bills. What many people don't realize is that restaurants, especially older ones, often operate on razor-thin margins. One bad year, a shift in consumer habits, or even a single misstep can send them spiraling. In Chenoys' case, it seems like a combination of factors, unpaid rent, unpaid suppliers, and growing tax debts, led to this point. But here's the thing. Why didn't they see it coming? Or maybe they did but felt trapped. That's a detail I find fascinating. The idea that a business can be so deeply insolvent, yet still try to avoid bankruptcy. It raises a deeper question. How many other beloved institutions are teetering on the edge, and what can we do to save them? The court documents reveal that the company voluntarily entered bankruptcy on April 14, but then tried to backtrack. The sole director, Argyro Segunis, argued that the decision wasn't properly authorized and was made to sidestep a rent dispute. But Justice Luc Morin wasn't having it. He called the company plainly insolvent. From my perspective, this feels like a last-ditch effort to buy time, but it also highlights the desperation that can set in when a business is failing. It's not just about the money. It's about the legacy, the employees, the customers who've made the place part of their lives. What's really struck me, though, is the public reaction. When the news hit Facebook, it wasn't just about the bankruptcy, it was about nostalgia. People were sharing memories of late-night sandwiches, first dates, and family outings. One thing that immediately stands out is how deeply personal these reactions are. Chenoys wasn't just a deli. It was a backdrop to people's lives. And that's what makes its closure so bittersweet. It's not just a business story. It's a human story. If you take a step back and think about it, Chenoys' downfall is part of a bigger trend. Brick-and-mortar businesses, especially those that rely on tradition and nostalgia, are struggling to adapt to a changing world. Rising costs, shifting consumer habits, and the rise of fast casual dining are all playing a role. Personally, I think this is a wake-up call. We can't take these institutions for granted. If we want them to survive, we need to support them, not just with our dollars but with our loyalty and advocacy. So what does this all mean? In my opinion, Chenoys' bankruptcy is more than just a financial failure. It's a reflection of how fragile our cultural landmarks can be. It's a reminder that the places we love aren't guaranteed to stick around. What this really suggests is that we need to be more proactive in preserving these spaces, whether through community support, policy changes, or simply showing up more often. Because once they're gone for good. As we wrap this up, I'm left with one lingering thought. What's next for Chenoys? Will it be resurrected in some form, or will it fade into memory? And more importantly, what can we learn from its story? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Are there places in your community that you're worried about? What do you think it takes to keep these institutions alive? Let's keep the conversation going, because this isn't just about a deli. It's about the heart and soul of our cities.